Attention, prisoner 903-8970, you're up for parole.
American Arts Radio presents live from Chisel Multimedia Studios, Comics on Parole in Hollywood South. Here's your host, Dan Glazer.
Welcome to Comics on Parole. My name is Dan Glazer. How you doing, Matt?
Good.
You doing good? Hey, Matt, I want to tell you, I asked my wife the other day, I says, does writing new jokes hurt my stand-up? She said, no, but telling them does. And, she put me on a diet the other day.
Yeah.
The diet is you can't eat anything, you can't eat any meal bigger than the palm of your hand. But it turned out to be a bunch of hooey because I bought some of those little crystal sandwiches that fit right in the palm of your hand.
Right.
I ate 15 of them, and I still gained 5 pounds. So anyway, that's the jokes for today. It's better with an audience. So anyway, we have a good show today. We have Kel Thompson, who produced and wrote and directed a movie called The Terrible Adventure, which will be, I think, be released this summer. But before we get to that, the Academy Awards. Did you watch the Academy Awards, Matt?
I did not see any of it.
You did? Okay. Well, you heard of the movie Green Book, right?
I did.
Yeah, the Green Book is one of the top movies of the year. And there's a regular that comes on the show, Mr. Ricky Muse. If you've seen him the past couple of years, he's been on about 4 or 5 times. He's in a lot of movies. And that's Mr. Ricky Muse right there. He is currently in the movie Green Book. It's in the bar scene. It's not a big scene, but it's a powerful scene. It's not a long scene, but it's a very powerful scene. You might remember him from Trouble with the Curve. He was in that. And he's also currently in The House with the Clock on the Wall with Jack Black. But he called me while he lives here in Atlanta. He called me while he was filming this movie, but I had no idea what it was really about. But boy, it's a biggie. It's a biggie. So right now, let's see a clip of Ricky Muse in the Green Book.
Well, I sure ain't. And I ain't about to let this come to pass in my place. Let's go. Let him go. Come on. Get him out of here. I want these Yankees off of my property.
So that was a pretty good scene. It's really longer than that, but we have to play the scenes 30 seconds or less, or they'll shut us down. But he last at the Super Bowl, he did a Super Bowl commercial last year for Febreze, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
He did. And then, hey, did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
That halftime performance was the best performance by tattoos I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah.
Anyway, first half was good. Everyone complained about the second, but the first one I thought was pretty good. Anyway, so right now we're going to call our guest. Let's put Mr. Kel Thomas right here at the parole desk. Hey, Kel.
This is Kel. Hey, Dan.
Okay, hold 1 second. Right now, we welcome to the Parole Desk Mr. Kel Thomas. He's a comedian, he's a host, he's a movie writer, director, he's an all-around multimedia guy. Welcome to the Parole Desk, Mr. Kel Thompson. How are you doing, Kel?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, okay. So, Kel, we're going to get to your stand-up comedy later in the show. We're going to show a clip of it. But right now, we had Kel come on the show because on Facebook he's been showing great clips and photos of his movie he's making called The Terrible Adventure. Tell us what the movie is about, Kel.
Well, I like to summarize The Terrible Adventure as Planes, Trains, and Automobiles meets Home Alone.
Right.
That's kind of the best way to summarize it. It's about 2 kids who are at risk of losing their house, and they enter a contest put on by a billionaire named Billy Bob Branson. Billy Bob Branson is a character that's kind of had a realization that he is causing things like global warming, and now he's aiming to solve some of the greatest problems on the planet. by putting on a contest distributed by one of his companies, which is an ice cream company called Huncha Muncha. And so the two ice cream men conspire to hijack the contest and the winnings that the kids are pursuing, and they're played by Santo Cortello and Ciro Dobrik. And of course, the two kids are my two kids, Jackson Thompson and Olivia Thompson.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's put the photo of Kel's two kids on Matt. So we got your two kids looking in the window. It must be of the ice cream, something or another.
Sure.
They look dirty.
Yeah, well, they go through a whole, they have, character arcs. And so they go through this whole kind of middle-class transformation from kids that are kind of taken care of by their parents to kids that can solve their own problems. And so as they traverse through all the trials and tribulations throughout the course of the film, they kind of get tattered. They encounter boats that are blowing up and, all sorts of, biplanes and all sorts of things that are very adventurous and fun.
What are your children's names?
Jackson Thompson and Olivia Thompson.
Did you have to talk them into this? Were they all excited about being in this movie?
No, they had to talk me into it because there was no way I would try to convince two kids to do something that was, my idea. It was definitely something we kind of cumulatively came up with over the years, but they were the ones that were pulling me into doing it. And so eventually, I kind of gave in. I was saying, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to do this film. And then eventually I broke down.
Who wrote it?
I did write it. I did write the film.
But did they give you the idea?
We did come up with it together. We outlined it all together years ago at this point. And then I put, pen to paper and wrote it. So,
have they taken acting lessons? I thought, from what I've seen, they're good little actors.
They've both very much exceeded all expectations as actors. They're obviously very brilliant kids. So they've picked it up. They're actually really good at it, and they kind of just learned along the way. We had done, they've been, I've been a film, video, photographer, producer for, their whole life. So they've kind of been around it, and we've done YouTube, channels for both of them, and they've hosted little YouTube shows.
Right.
So they're not uncomfortable in front of the camera. They, like I said, they've been around them their whole life. So nothing like this, but they've risen to the occasion, and both of them have really done a remarkable job with it.
Now you're acting in this too, right? Let's put Kel's terrible photo up.
Yeah, I did. That was, when you're doing a feature film and it's an independent, production you're doing, and we've been filming all over on, multitudes of locations. And, you kind of walk into stuff sometimes not having every actor exactly pinned down or every location knowing exactly what we're going to be getting into. And so we were filming at the biplanes down in Key West, and great.
That was impressive. I saw that clip, and that was impressive.
Yeah, Billy down there that's the only biplane location down there in Key West, and he was awesome. We filmed in his hangar for 3 days, and he told me that he didn't mind being on camera, but he didn't necessarily want to be on camera a lot. So we set it up where I was on camera for that. The majority of the time, and that's kind of, I just walked in.
You're a mechanic, right?
What's that?
Are you a mechanic right there?
Yeah, basically a mechanic. I think we're going to edit it so I might look like the pilot too, but it's pilot mechanic. Yeah. So, and I was planning on hoping to pick up a cameo, but I didn't know that would be the part. I was just waiting for the right opportunity, and then when he mentioned that he wasn't sure how much he wanted to be on camera, then I stepped in to kind of fill in.
So is he going to be on camera or not?
Well, he's on camera a little bit, but it's mainly kind of, he's more of an extra. He's kind of in the back of the plane. He's flying the plane, but he doesn't have any lines.
The video of the flying of the biplane was just incredible. It was very.
Yeah,
I couldn't find it. I wanted to show it. I couldn't find it, but boy, it was impressive.
Yeah, we got real lucky with Billy, and then we rented a Cessna 172, and I crawled into the Cessna and filmed out of that, and we had real steady, real steady air. It wasn't real turbulent, and we pulled off a lot of really high production value shots.
Was it scary? Was it scary filming the video scene with the biplane?
I was a helicopter videographer, and I'm an ex sort of maybe current again hang glider.
Yeah.
So heights and planes don't really bother me too much. And the kids were in the biplane, so we were all three in the air at the same time. So it was, I don't know, I think everyone enjoyed it.
One time, do you do any corporate events with your comedy?
Not with my comedy. No, I don't have clean comedy yet. That's kind of a goal, but no, I couldn't do corporate events for my real work.
I got called to perform at a parachutist convention the other day, Kel, and they they said the only thing is you'll have to tell your jokes while you're parachuting, but don't worry, there's no strings attached.
So funny.
But hey, but still, I was very impressed. The color on this very high quality. This film, we're going to show a clip in a minute, but the quality is high.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's my background is in production, and I did a lot of research, a lot of comparing and contrasting what cameras to use for this. And we went with a C300. It's a Canon C300 Mark II, and it's Netflix specifications. My film friends, Ricardo and Carlos Valdez, and I talked to them a lot about, which camera was best. And, the consensus is that the camera we've chosen has better color science and colors than even some of the red cameras and some of the best cameras, on the market today. So our production value is as high as any independent feature film that's out there.
Yeah.
And that was the goal.
Very high.
We hope for cinematic, theatrical distribution and Netflix, and that kind of caliber of film is what we're going for. Of course, we've used all comedians. Almost, our set is probably 85. Our cast is like 85% comics and comedians that I've met through the course of my career as a comedian over the last 4 years. So we've got comedians are the best, on camera talent you can find. They're very comfortable in front of crowds, in front of cameras, whatever it is. You should have seen Ciro and Santo light up places like the Southernmost Point. They had all of Key West as a stage, and they just didn't turn it off the whole time we were there. The whole place knew us. And we filmed, at Isle Morada, at a restaurant called Lorelei. We filmed on Cadillac boats and pirate ships. At the Florida Ridge hang gliding as a hang gliding location, and we've been all over, and we've had people like Kyle Barnett, who's a comedian. He had a cameo. He's been instrumental behind the scenes, doing all sorts of things. He designed the Huncha Muncha. Our ice cream sandwich.
In fact, let's put the photo. But excuse me, just once. I put the photo of the ice cream guy photo up, Matt. There we go. There's your kids. They're about to be strangled by the two ice cream guys. Now, I don't know the heavy guy, but the thinner guy with the scraggly hair, I've seen him perform at your open mic.
Yeah, Ciro, yeah. He was a constant winner at Marina 84. And
he's good. He's good. He's kind of crazy. He's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's got that crazy persona on stage, and off stage, he's the most non-crazy person you'll ever meet. And Santo also is, he loves the stage and one of the nicest people you'll ever meet off the stage.
Yeah, I haven't seen, but they're both comics, huh?
Yeah, they're both comics. Yeah.
I heard you were going to have my cousin Lindsay Glazer in, but she said she had to do a love scene and she refused. It's just not her type of thing. I'm just kidding you.
Yeah, well, she might still come around. We'll see.
Really? Are you still filming this thing?
Yeah, we're still working on it.
Did you actually?
We're about 75% through production, maybe a little more at this point. We've got one big scene left. We're going to be filming. We expect to be filming over spring break. That'll be our final big scene, and we've had a number of them, and that'll be at the Castillo de San Marcos.
Are you still doing
the final clue is revealed?
You still doing your open mic?
No, I'd stopped a little over a month ago. Maybe 2 months at this point.
That was a great place.
We did it for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years we did that one, and it might come back. Right now, it's kind of a hiatus as I'm trying to, producing a feature film of this caliber takes everything I got.
I don't know how you've done this, but it's good thing you know comics, and comics work for cheap. In fact, did they pay?
Yeah.
Did they pay you to be in the movie?
I don't know about that, but they're great to have around. I can tell you that. The nice thing about having comedians as your crew, and we've got people working behind the scenes as well. We've got like Dean Roshi and Alec McEwen, Jillian Chiapones, which I can't say her last name. Brett Engel is a pillar in the South Florida scene, and they all have parts. But the nice thing about everybody as having comics as part of this, behind and in front of the camera, is that anywhere we go, I can rest assured that the whole place is going to be charmed by all the comedians. I don't have to worry one bit about saying somebody doing something or saying something wrong at all. Like, everybody is always just on point with having everybody laugh and making sure everybody has a good time.
Now, a kind of a star of the film is the ice cream truck. Let's put and then we're going to watch a clip. Put the ice cream truck up. Does this ice cream truck fly?
It doesn't fly yet. It did for a promotion we did for
I think
it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or something.
Right.
I did make a little funny thing, but that's part of a compilation that I did from our hang gliding scene. And that's when we got Santo in the hang glider.
You put a lot of bucks in producing. When I saw you first posted this truck, because that's a big ice cream bar on the top of it, I thought you were just opening up a side business. I didn't know you were filming a movie.
I know. You and my neighbors both. Like, I had to tell them, no, I'm not the ice cream man in the neighborhood.
It was impressive. Who did this truck for you?
And so, like I said, Kyle Burnett helped a lot. He did design the entire, ice cream sandwich on the roof. Put a lot of heart and soul into that. And he's an artist. He works at NSU. As an art handler, and has a master's. I think it's a master's in art history. Yeah. And he put everything into making that ice cream sandwich, which we call a sandwich, not a sandwich.
The whole truck is impressive.
The rest of it, what's that?
The whole truck is impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, and then the graphics. I had a designer work on the graphics, and we did a trademark search to make sure that the brand was clear. That was an important step because we didn't want to run into any trademark issues with another big brand out there as we start to roll it out. So we put some effort and dollars behind making sure we had a trademark lawyer to look into stuff, and then. Yeah, and then we redesigned the truck to fit, the film, and of course I'm a big fan of character, kind of props like that. So
right. Yeah, it's
and we've had we just finished filming at the Gold Coast Railroad Museum. We've had all sorts of kind of. It's almost like period piece-esque, things in our film, like the biplane, the train, the truck. All sorts of things like that. So.
In fact, after the clip, I'm going to show photos of the train. That was very when I saw that was very Harry Potter-like. The train scene.
Yes.
So right now, let's go ahead and see the video clip of The Terrible Adventure.
Hi, honey.
Imagine if planes, trains, and automobiles and Home Alone had a baby. Its name would be The Terrible Adventure.
My dad has the only resource that we need, money.
When two affluent siblings are faced with losing everything, they spring into action attempting to conquer a contest put on by billionaire Billy Bob Branson as he cultivates planet puzzlers to solve the world's greatest problems like pollution and global warming, poverty, and achieving world peace. However, Iceman and Chili, two corrupt ice cream men, conspired to win the contest and steal the $1 million prize. The Terrible Adventure is currently in production and has critics raving. Ken Atchity, associate producer of The Meg, says The Terrible Adventure has great potential as a feature film. Composer Brian Starkweather says it combines Good Burger and an inconvenient truth. The Terrible Adventure is set to be the most influential family fun comedic film of its time. Coming to theaters everywhere in the summer of 2019. This film is not yet rated.
That was very well done. Did you do that? Kel?
Yeah, I did the edit.
That was very well done. So right now, let's. We were one of the last scenes that you posted had been of the train. Let's post the train photo. And that's with all the cast with the train. Let's go to the train conductor. That was a great photo of the train conductor.
Oh, that's Addison Rex. Yeah, he's another local South Florida comedian.
He looks a little like Carrot Top.
He did an awesome job as a train conductor. I felt like he's been waiting for that role his whole life. But he's also a very funny comedian, so we were privileged to have him be a part of it. The voiceover in that sizzle reel, and that's just the sizzle. That's from the first half of production, and that's
right.
The voiceover is done by Dave Crockett out of Houston, Texas. And also, I was looking over my notes, and I do want to make sure I mention Brian Starkweather, who's going to be our composer on the film, and he's going to be working on, the film score. And so we've got, I've gotten real lucky in attracting a really, really high quality, high caliber team all the way around, in front and behind, around the camera. So yeah, we're going big. We're trying to do it right and go big.
Now, how will you shop this once it's done? You have to go to shows?
Well, so there's a couple different avenues for that, but the film festival route is the traditional route. I was the videographer for Reggie Ponder for the American Black Film Festival for 6 years. So I've also had a film in the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. And I've been in and around film festivals for quite a while at this point, and
right.
So the magic happens at film festivals, or you can have an agent. Ken actually has read the script. He was an associate producer of The Meg, and which was the number one film.
How did you know him?
My dad is an author, and he's my dad's agent. So they ran into each other 12 years ago. So my dad's Larry Thompson.
What does he write?
Legal thrillers.
Oh, do we know any of the names of the books?
He's written Dead Peasants, White Witch, So Help Me God, Dark Money, The Trial. So he's a successful, you can find his books everywhere at this point. He's been very diligent.
And that's how he's made his living all his life.
Well, he's a lawyer. He was a Texas super lawyer for he over 45, really over about 50 years in Texas, and so he had a very successful long run as an attorney in Houston, and then transitioned, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago into being an author, and he's the most disciplined person I know, and he cranks out novel after. I would say about a novel a year, maybe give or take. And so he's got his brother was also an author, Tommy Thompson, and passed away in the 80s, but he did Blood and Money, Serpent. They're actually Richard Brown is currently producing Blood and Money into a kind of a Netflix series. It's not sold, but that's supposed to go into production this year.
Did you live in Houston at one time?
Yeah, I'm from Houston. Yeah.
Oh, because my brother got married at the Galleria. He went to University of Houston. I used to live in Houston off Gessner or Gustine. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, Gessner.
Yeah, it was back early 80s. All I know, it was hot. The cockroaches fly and breathe fire. They actually fly and breathe fire. The cockroaches.
Yeah, I know.
They're
My
everywhere.
friend from India came to Houston, and he got off he got out of the truck, and he goes, "This is just like India."
I was sitting in my apartment that day, and I see this big, huge thing fly from outside. It was flying. It was breathe fire. It was a cockroach. What? Cockroaches don't fly, but they're prehistoric down there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So let's get on quick. Listen, best of luck to you about this film, and I have high hopes for it. And please keep us posted on Facebook, which you've been doing. Well, and you can go to Kel Thompson's Facebook page to see the progress of this film. And right now, we want to get on to Kel's comedy. Let's just now. What I didn't realize.
Can I just mention there's a The Terrible Adventure Facebook page as well, or you can go to theterribleadventure.com. But just so people can find it.
Yeah, Terrible Adventure Facebook page or terribleadventure.com. And when do you wrap up production?
We probably have total about 2 months left, so end of April.
You worked hard, I'll tell you. I hope this gets into the big theaters, because it'll be exciting to see that happen. Now we're going to move on to your comedy. Your comedy now, Kel. And what I didn't realize, you were on Showtime. Let's put the Kel's Showtime photo. You were on Showtime.
Sure. I mean, if you say so and you have a picture, then
it says Spill the Beans Comedy Show. Oh no! It says Showtime at 8:30. No, put that back up.
That's Castle Mallett's room. He runs one of the top rooms in South Florida.
Showtime.
Spill the Beans.
I did see the Showtime. I said, "Oh, he was on Showtime." Now I realize it's Showtime at 8:30.
I never know if you're joking or not. I never know. Did you really think I was on Showtime? Is that what
I briefly saw that. And Showtime stuck in my mind. I actually thought you were on Showtime. But Dean Napolitano, I know Dean. He's come here to Atlanta to perform. He's a friend with came to a comedy club, a Jerry Farber comedy club in Atlanta. Very nice guy and very good comic. Excellent comic.
Dean's hysterical, yeah.
So that was a nice show.
As well. We're trying to get him in the film, not to parlay it back into the movie. But
you got to get Dean.
He was almost gonna be in the movie, and he still wants a cameo. I was going to have him play the dad, which is now Brett Engel, but
listen,
he's a little bit removed from. I think he's in Orlando, so it was a little bit of a hike to make it.
But he's a good actor. He's been in other movies.
Yeah, he's a credited actor. He's probably SAG. I don't know. So he's a very good actor.
We'll be sending you this clip. Send it to Dean. I'm kidding. Is it okay for me to message Dean to be in your movie? You got to be in this movie.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'll do that. So right now, let's see a little bit of Kel's comedy.
Coming up, this first guy is a fantastic friend of mine, very funny comic. Everybody put their hands together and welcome to the stage, Kel Thompson, everybody. All right, give it up for Tim Hanlon. Funny stuff, Tim. Don't tell them we're graduates, Tim. I skipped a lot of class, you guys. It's comedy school, what do you expect? No, thank you guys for coming out. Sporting Life Comedy, it's the Improv is the one place where free tickets somehow equates to a 2-drink minimum, which equals $80. And you think that's a joke when until you get your bill. Damn, that ball guy was great! Take it back to Dolores. That's Spanish, I guess, for dollars. I'm trying to learn Spanish. I downloaded a free trial version of the Rosetta Stone. First thing they teach you is, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? I'm like, are there a lot of Americans down in Mexico trying to find a library? Like, does Mexico even have a library? The next thing they teach you is, Me llamo Kel. Like, if you're still trying to learn how to introduce yourself in Spanish, you're about 2 years away from being able to impress your friends by ordering a chalupa at the Taco Bell drive-thru. Hey Steve, let's go to Taco Bell. Got something to show you. Welcome to Taco Bell, sir. Yo quiero una chalupa. I'm just saying, you might want to invest your money in something that has a little faster return on your investment, like karate. Your very first karate class, you can learn to punch and kick. Hey Steve, check it out. Me llamo Kel. Comics, we practice a lot of open mics, kind of like lawyers and doctors. Just
okay. You guys still got an improv. We lost our improv here in Atlanta. We had one. It's been here twice and hasn't made it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, but Atlanta's
that's because Renee Hart's not running it. Renee Hart knows how to run everything.
Well, so, they built a high rise where it was, but I don't know what happened. But we've had 2 of them. But Atlanta's a big comedy scene. A lot of people from Atlanta are getting big now. We have Dulcie Sloan. She's on a talk show at night. We have Clayton English. I don't know. He's in a lot of movies, Netflix movies. We have a lot of people. Dean Napolitano. No, he's not from Atlanta. But it is.
Atlanta's blowing up. That's where it's all going down right now. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I love it.
I heard. Oh, quickly. We got to go. I was sitting at the Laughing Skull, and I went in the green room. And I sat next to a girl, and I said, boy, I'm too old to be doing this. She said, no, you're not. We started talking. And I said, what are you doing in Atlanta? She goes, I'm filming a movie. I said, I hope you're getting paid. And she goes, you don't know who I am, do you? I said, no. She goes, I'm Tiffany Haddish. I said, how do you spell it? She's in a movie with Kevin Hart that's in theaters right now. But
yeah, right.
She's real nice, though. I said, I apologize. She said, oh, no, people usually go goo goo gaga over me. That was nice. He thought I was a real. He thought I was one of the little people.
Kevin Hart came through the American Black Film Festival one year on the red carpet, and Reggie Ponder asked me if I wanted a picture with him, and I didn't know who he was, and I was like, no, I don't know who he is. And he was so big, he came in going, all you women wearing high heels? He's sure, you know.
What year was this?
And this one, I don't remember. The next year he blew up though. He was just on top of the world, and I couldn't get a picture with him to save my life. I was like, man, I could have got a picture with Kevin Hart. But he was super cool. I really liked his message in those.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad he's doing well.
A nice guy. He gives a lot of young comics opportunities. A lot of young comics. Well, listen, Kel, thank you very much for calling in. Put Kel's picture up right here at the parole dress. Can you put his picture up? So, Kel, we'll have this to you in a few days. I'm going to message Dean Napolitano. He must be in your movie.
Absolutely, and we'll get him in. We have one big scene left. We'll put him in it.
Very good. Thanks for calling in, Kel. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Dan, and good job on everything you're doing there.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right,
and thank you for turning into Comics on Parole. We'll be here in another month when we don't know who will be here, but they will be here. Thank you.